Hey y'all, it's Jules the tutor. I got a heparin protocol for you. A student sent me. I apologize for the delay. But look, it says heparin 4,000 units IV bolus. Then a continuous IV infusion titrated based on the PTT level using this protocol. And we're going to get PTTs every 6 hours while they're on this. And it says the initial rate is 10 units per kilogram per hour. And then we have available heparin 25,000 units in 500 milliliters. I went ahead and did this. Their weight is 220 pounds. When we divide that by 2.2, it's 100 kilograms. And then the first PTT was 41 seconds, but we don't use this yet because we got to start the initial. Remember, sometimes I'll tell you that this equation, the physician was going to do his own math, but he got called to surgery, so now we're doing his math again. So, same situation. So if he is 100 kilograms, and Mr. Maine, the doctor, wants 10 units per kilogram, we're going to take the kilograms and multiply it by 10 units. Okay, so we go 100 times 10 equals. And so he wants him to get 1,000 units. How often? That's per hour. Let me write it out for Ethel. Per hour. So this is our new dose ordered. So what he wants is 1,000 units. What units we got in our hand? Look, 25,000. We unit rich. And then how does that 25,000 units come? In 500 milliliters. And so we're going to do this math. The top number divided by the bottom number times 500. So come on. We got 1,000 in there divided by 2, 5, 1, 2, 3 equals times 500 equals. You see that? So this has to go, the initial dose has to go at 20 milliliters per hour. You see that? And look, I wrote the answer right there. 20, don't try to look, 20 milliliters, okay? So then, we're going to get it started, and 6 hours later, let me get my page right. Then it says 6 hours after the heparin was initiated, the patient's PTT is now 49, and they want to know what bolus to give, and then how will the rate be adjusted. So let's look at this. His thing is 49. If you can read a recipe, you can read this. Lord, can y'all see? Look, zoom it in, maybe. So he is 49. So here's 40 to 49. And for the bolus, we got to give him 50 units per kilogram. And we can't go over 5,000, okay? So we got to do 50 units. 50 units times his 100 kilograms. And so we're doing the math like Olympic gold medalist times 100 equals, yeah, 5,000. If it was 5,001, we couldn't have done it. So this is 5,000 units will be the bolus. All right, and I wrote the answer somewhere. I should have thought about this better. Look, 5,000 units for the bolus. But let me show you this. And then it says you have to increase by 2 units per kilogram per hour. Remember what we started it at? We started it at 10 units. So we have to add 2 to this and recalculate the whole thing. Somewhere inside yourself, you just got to make peace with it. So now it's going to be 12 units. 12 units per kilogram, and he's still got them 100 And so, let me do G. Let's do it again because we can. 12 times 100 equals 1,200 units per hour is what Mr. Man wants. So the new dose ordered is 1,200 units. And what we have is 25,000 units per 500 milliliters. And so we're calculating it. But let me tell you this just for a second. A student made a GoFundMe page for me when I had the leak under my slab and the plumber had to come, and the amount is just a tiny bit over my deductible, so I've got to pay the whole thing. And then my computer died last night. I have a problem doing this, but she made me promise that I would. If you can take a picture, you can go to your picture and highlight that GoFundMe. And, you know, if you needed money and you wanted $1, I'd give you $2. And if everybody could do that, it would change the situation. I could focus on making videos, okay? So if my dosage calculations has helped you, a lot of people say, oh, I want to do something for you because, you know, I'm doing all this for y'all. And so you see, I have a hard time with this, but this is the little note she wrote. Her name's Susan, and I appreciate it so much. So anything, if you could give $1 or $2, I mean, if everybody would do that, I could do a lot. Okay, so I'm gonna shut up. Sorry. That was uncomfortable, but I promised her. Okay, so here we are. 1,200 units divided by 25,000 times 500. So now we got to increase the rate to 24 milliliters an hour. Okay, and look, I wrote it on here. 24 milliliters an hour. And the next question on the on this problem, I didn't print it out, but it said 6 hours later they do a PTT, and it was like 65. And so according to the protocol, you see 60 to 100, we're not going to bolus them, and we're not going to change anything. And then in 6 hours, if they come back and it's jacked up, you're going to go back. Like we have to do this again. If it says increase it 2 units, you're going to have to come back to the 12 units that we just recalculated. Some people want to go back to this unit, but you can't. You have to come to the last one that we did. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Good luck with that. So I'm Julie. I'm the tutor. Thank you so much for sending this problem. And y'all have a good day. I hope this helped.